Hello, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Rental, episode 120. We are your gaming and geek culture podcast. As always, my name is Ryan. I'm joined by Andy.
Hey.
And Biff.
Greetings, folks.
If you like our content, head on over to geekade.com. You're going to find a bunch of great content on podcasts, video games, music, movies, comics, Twitch streamers, so much more. Geekade.com, what's your geek? And we're going to open this one up right off the bat with quiz. You guys ready? Quiz mode?
Ooh, ready. Yeah.
Yes. All right. I got a quiz. I thought about doing video games, but like we've done so many video game quizzes, I thought what would be good? 90s kid trivia. If you were a 90s kid, we're 80s kids. But we grew up in the 90s. You should be able to answer these. These questions, I will warn you, are painfully simple. So while a few of them are hard, I'm going to require that whoever answers first gets them. This is not going to be like a give me your answer sort of thing. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
So say it as fast as you can, right?
Yes, and some of them are still going to be video game related. In fact, a few of them are right off the bat. But let's start it off. 90s kid quiz trivia. Here we go. It's often regarded as one of the best video games of its generation. What gaming platform did GoldenEye 007 debut on?
Nintendo 64.
64.
All right, that's a Biff. He's quick. He's gotcha. This one, Andy, this one's for you. As the Pokemon video game craze launched in the United States in 1998, 2 iterations of the series were published on Game Boy. What were they?
Red and blue.
Nailed it. Dead Heat, folks. Dead Heat. What was the name of the virtual pet simulation game that came in a tiny egg-shaped electronic system?
Oh.
Wow. I had 2 more sentences to go. Good job. Also, only girls played with that. How did you know that?
Hey, you don't worry about it. I might have had one. It's no big deal.
The DigiPet. They were
That's
the male
version. There you go. Yeah. Who's the Sesame Street star who was tickled with laughter and became
Elmo.
Christmas?
Dang it. That was Andy.
Dead Heat, 2 and 2. All right. Who is the fictitious female protagonist in the 1996 video game series Tomb Raider?
Lara Croft.
Lara Croft.
We would have to go for a replay, but you both, no points awarded because I think you guys neutralized each other. So it's still 2 and 2. I love this question, by the way. In the 90s, which wide-legged jeans became a fashion favorite for children?
Ooh, Jinko.
What did you say, Biff?
Jinko.
God, it was a tie again.
No, I said it first. I clearly said it first.
No, I
clearly said it back.
I can't
first.
distinguish.
Run it back. I could put like a whole suitcase in my back pocket in those jeans.
I think we're still tied.
I found a pair the other day that I still have.
They got to be worth something, right?
I know.
Vintage.
Like 90s
what
culture
boy
is
band
there.
included Justin Timberlake and JC Chazé?
In sync.
Dang it.
Right.
They're the same.
Andy's in the lead.
You're aggressive.
Who played Kevin McAllister in the blockbuster film Home Alone?
Macaulay Culkin.
I can't tell again.
Not tell him. Kill him this.
I'll give that one to Nate. We're tied. It is Macaulay Culkin. That is correct.
Although if you replay it, I'm pretty sure I said like something like
Well, I've thrown out 2, so we'll just go with like everybody wins. How about that?
Gosh.
What is the actual? Oh, this one's okay. See, here's where it gets weird. We just did all of those, which were like obvious, and then like, what is the actual name of Courtney Love?
Jennifer Love Hewitt. No, Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's not it.
I'd argue that nobody should care, but it is in fact Courtney Michelle Harrison. But the actual name is Kurt Cobain's murderer. That's the name.
Oh my gosh.
So let's move on. Still a tie game.
Wow.
What band did Zach, Isaac, and Taylor form?
Hanson.
And I had 2 sentences to go, but yep, Biff's in the lead. Hanson it was. They
My wife's going to
performed.
that concert.
They peaked at the top of the charts in 1997 with Bop. That's right.
Bought tickets.
Oh.
They're in Fargo.
You shouldn't be proud of that.
I
We're
know.
going.
I know.
What year did Princess Diana perish in a Paris traffic accident? Sorry.
97?
99.
97 was the correct answer. So Biff is in the lead.
And I don't know what has gotten a hold of me, but I'm killing it right now. Just letting you know.
You are a 90s kid. You proved it.
I am a 90s kid.
What is the name of the character from Friends who is famous for attempting to seduce women by saying, how are you
Tribbiani.
doing?
Joey.
It's how you doing?
How you doing?
This question's wrong. How are you doing? That's not what Joey said. Shenanigans. We're throwing it out. It doesn't matter. That's wrong.
How are you doing?
Yeah. How are you doing? No, that's a bullshit question. We're not counting that. But Biff is still in the lead. What does the abbreviation AOL stand for?
America Online.
Nice. Tied it up. Tied it up. Yes. All right. What plush toys did Ty Inc. sell that took over the world? What? It was way too fast, but also correct.
I just want to throw out that video game trivia I suck at, but man, I'm killing this.
Arbitrary pop culture, Biff's strong suit. Okay.
Does that don't matter? Got it. Old ladies' retirements. Yep, got it.
What dance craze was popularized by Los Del Mar?
Macarena.
Holy hell.
Yes.
I can't even finish sentences. We're tied
Yes.
again.
Here we go.
I'm loving this. It's the Macarena. That's good. Okay, what
I wouldn't have
Nickelodeon?
got that at all. I was trying to
No.
think of like Electric Slide or something like that.
It's hard to forget the Macarena.
Oh man.
It was like every middle school dance I ever remember.
Just
It's horrible
picture what is it? The Austin Powers like
Oh yeah. All right. Moving on. What Nickelodeon animated show starred Tommy, Chucky, and Angelica?
Rugrats.
I think Andy took it. I think he got it.
no way.
Andy
He said
started
S.
it. It was possibly a tie, but I'm going with Andy on this one.
This is rigged.
Nobody's actually going to win. I'm just
You're
saying
against
right
me.
now.
Yeah, but now it's a competition.
I want it to be heated. I need you guys aggressive and on edge. That's where we're at the best.
We're not even letting you finish the sentence here.
I'm shocked. I'm in fact kind of impressed by both of you. So in the 1990s, which this is a 90s quiz, right? Anyway, in the 1990s, what function was added to portable CD players that enabled both children and adults to enjoy their music without missing a beat?
Anti-skip.
Yes. Skip protection, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
I was
Nice.
thinking that too, but then
2-point lead. 2-point lead.
What one did you have? I only had 32nd.
I didn't even have that. I want to say I had mid like maybe 10x was like, and that's the one I like used all through high school,
I think that's what I had, like a 10X.
which was not sufficient in like rural North Dakota, but it got you through most of like the road. And then, like as we all did, we had the portable CD player that you then put into the tape cassette adapter.
Yeah.
That became your car's
Oh, yeah.
CD player. So it was the
Or
anti-skip
if
became important.
My truck didn't even have a tape adapter, so I got some external speakers and just set it up on my dashboard and drive.
You know
the
that you
best.
could get like those like free iTunes like FM adapters, right? That would like sling it to your radio.
Wasn't rich, okay? Wasn't
They were-
rich.
I
I
wasn't
found
either.
some
They're like
computer
they're 20
speakers and I
bucks.
just plugged it in. It
I
worked.
like it. Like battery powered computer speakers.
Yes, 100%.
Nice.
20
Right.
double A's in that thing.
This one I'd argue is an 80s question, but I'm going to allow it anyway because it's already in the quiz. What snack was the most effective for applying to your fingers and creating which fingernails?
Bugles.
That is correct.
That's what
but
they're called now.
I think it's that's an 80s snack for sure, though. But yes,
It goes
okay,
back down.
you're one away from tying it up. Which television show's theme song began with the following line? Where has predictability gone? Whatever happened to the paperboy, the mailman? The evening TV.
Step by Step.
Oh,
Family Matters. Dang it.
It's all
You're
waiting
right.
for you just around the bend. Everywhere you look.
Oh, Full House.
Yes.
The way you say it, though, sounds so stupid.
It ended with "Where has predictability gone?" and the rest of that was me remembering that because it was burned into my childhood
Oh my
skull.
gosh.
So, and it was Full House. We're tied again. We're tied.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
It's weird. Yeah.
I'm sure that guy who sang that song also did the Family Matters, also did
Oh, I'm sure.
Step by Step. It was
Yes.
it almost sounded the same.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. What is the? Oh, I like this. What is the title of the first installment of R.L. Stein's Goosebumps series?
Oh man.
You can picture it. Is it something dummy?
No.
Something to do with the carnival, I think. No, I don't know. I don't remember.
This question is actually wrong. I bought the first book and read it. It says "Welcome to Dead House," but it's not. It's like the werewolf of whatever swamp is actually the first. Book. So,
Was there something with a dummy, like a mannequin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah.
There's
which was the death of Goosebumps because those dummy books were the worst ones. I skipped over all of them after the first one. Let's see. We're gonna do 3 more questions because this will just go on forever. I don't know how many questions are here, but
Having a blast.
we are tied right now. Actually, I'm gonna skip that one. Okay. Who made Ice Ice Baby famous?
No ice.
There you go. Biff has the lead. 2 more questions. In the television series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, what was the name of the family butler?
I was just talking about him
we just
yesterday.
talked about
you
this.
brought it up. You said he didn't have any funny line. He said he was never not funny.
Man, what? Oh, gosh.
Jerome, no, something like that.
I
Right?
just am drawing a
Yeah.
blank now.
Oh,
Close. The butler.
Jerry, Jerome,
I'm
Gerald.
right there with you. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
You can do it. Not even there. Fresh Prince Butler.
Jeffrey.
Yep.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh.
Biff has a commanding lead, but we'll just go
Wow.
with the last one. It's not winner take all, but we'll end it on this one. What was the name of the sheep that was effectively cloned for the first time in 1996?
Dolly.
Nice. Yes, that is correct.
Ollie?
Dolly the sheep. Yes.
I don't remember that.
Well, you know what? I was going to quit, but there's one more question left, and this is the end of this quiz, so we're going to go with it. What reality television program is known to be the first? MTV.
Oh, Real World.
Real World?
Why did you get that, Biff?
I'm a rebel.
The only show you've watched in a movie is RV, and you got the Real World. Also correct. I'm impressed. There you go. 90s kid trivia. You guys
You
did
thought I was just
shockingly
floating
well.
by in life, and I actually knew some things.
Just turns out you're clueless about video games, but everything else knowledgeable as hell.
Got it.
Right up there.
Let's go to the local bowling alley and do some trivia.
Shockingly good from both of you. I'm impressed. The winner is the listener learning about 90s trivia. You're
I love
welcome,
that.
everyone.
We're all winners, which
And
is
I think we've
2000
proved
mentality.
that we have like the credentials now to speak about
For
all
sure.
things 90s video games, retro
Yeah.
games.
Double Dare, Fruit Roll-Ups. We were there. We lived it.
What was the temple? That's one that's been in my brain. There
Temple, yeah. I know
was
what
it
you're talking
Temple
about.
Run?
Yeah, that's
No,
a game, but it was called
It's
something.
Like a game show where there
We
was
don't
a
have to.
temple.
We don't have to name it because we know it. We were there. 90s.
Yeah, we saw it.
they just rebooted it now. I mean,
Did they?
They did. yeah.
Legend of the
Yes.
Temple Guardian.
Something.
Legend of the Hidden Temple.
There you go. That
Yes.
sounds right.
Yes, love it.
Like it.
Silver Snakes. They were the best.
You know what's not the best? Nintendo shut down the Wii U and 3DS eShop. What do you guys feel about that?
Forgot about it already.
What? This is a big deal, man. Like, this is all the DSware, DSiWare, 3DSware, the virtual consoles. There
And
are
like 5 Wii U games that might go away.
right, which is not that's not the tragedy here. The tragedy is that there are like hundreds upon hundreds of games that exist only in that ecosphere, never got physical releases, and now have nowhere to go. Because
How long did you
Nintendo
think
has
it actually was going to last, though? It's got to go away at some point.
Okay, I agree with you. That makes sense, but also does it? Because why can't there be a virtual console on the Switch? Why can't 3DS games be played on your Switch flipped vertically? Why can't they just not be assholes and like allow preservationist groups like the Video Game History Foundation to keep the source material and archive them properly? It's bad.
This is like the DS stuff was all available, right? Like the DSiWare, did that all come to the 3DS then?
I don't know. We might have lost some of that in the shutdown, but
Does it surprise you, though, really?
it doesn't. But the ramifications of it are a little bit shocking because, like, you think about when we talked about the Vita, PlayStation, and PlayStation 3 and PSP stores shutting down, and how quickly Sony backpedaled in the face of like the adversity of that, realizing their mistake. Nintendo is not going to do that because Nintendo conforms to no one, and tons of games that people like poured their lives into are going to be without piracy and support people who back that up, because it's not a crime when they're meant to like preserve someone's like life work, right? But, like, without piracy, these games are gone forever.
Right. I wonder, like, so the Wii has already been through this.
Yeah, and we lost a bunch there. But the preservation community on that end has been very good with the hacking and the jailbreaking of the console. So a lot of that is salvaged.
That's what I was wondering, like what percentage of that actually made it out, ported it out. But
I think the homebrew community did a really good job of backing that up. I think for the most part it's there through certain means.
Sure.
It's
3DS
just
is a little weird though, because what do you do? Because it's so dependent on the hardware too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like most of those games I would imagine I'd only want to play on a 3DS anyway. So if, 20 years in the future, I want to get to play those games, I'd have to figure out a way to get them on a chip.
Yeah. But
on a real 3DS.
Minus the 3DS effects, like the 3D effects, you could pull the Joy-Cons off your Switch, stand it vertically, and have it mimic a 2-screen mode, and you'd have the game, right? Like, it would be doable. Maybe not like ideal in every situation, but you could do it.
Maybe that's what they're planning for the Switch U.
OLED
U.
Does the Wii have a microphone on it? Or not Wii, Switch?
Switch? That's a good question. I don't know. Because that was a part of both the 3DS and the Wii, right? Or at least the 3DS.
The 3DS and the DS were...
No, the Wii had it too, because there was that one game you had to blow on it, remember? Nintendo Land? Pretty sure there was a game you had to blow on the...
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. That was on the Wii U one, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little crazy, because it's like, there's no reason, at least from the Wii U, there's nothing in the Wii U game store and eShop and Virtual Console that couldn't run on the Switch. There's no reason the Virtual Console couldn't exist. The Switch can run the GBA games. The Switch can do everything, probably better, but they're just failing to bring it over, right? For what reason? For what purpose?
It really is a mystery that, some things are stuck on a Virtual Console on Wii U. I don't get it, but... And
the Wii U has a better organized shop than the Switch has ever had in 5 years it's been out. Like, it makes no sense. Like, well, we can't bring it over because I'm gonna have to like do buckets, like by console, by gen, like by by RPGs. Like, oh, we can't do that. Like, that doesn't work. I don't know. I mean, to Biff's point, is it shocking? No. Is it shocking how little time they gave people? Kind of. I mean, after May of this year, you can't use your credit card to purchase games on that service. It goes offline in March of next year. And then I think after there's a certain date in the fall where you can't even use Nintendo cards to like load points in, right? Like, so basically, like for most people after May of this year, you're not buying games, but there are things on there, and there will be many people making lists of like what you should buy before it's gone, but there are like very notable things like the Mario 3 Advanced with all the bonus DLC cards from the e-reader. There are like 100 extra levels. Like, it's almost like a third of the game added back in that most people have never experienced, and it doesn't exist anywhere else outside of like tracking down all those cards, which who's going to do that?
Mm-hmm. And like, speaking of the first Pokemon games, those were on 3DS.
Right.
And I believe that's the only way that you could get to those original ones all the way up to any modern game. So,
yeah.
So when you make the purchase, I guess I haven't really jumped into the Wii U stuff, like the shops. I just don't really spend a lot of time in that. So when you make the purchase, is it yours forever? Are you still going to be able to access it once the services go? Or is it you purchase it? Because you said there was going to be guys making lists of things you should get before it goes away. Are you going to be able to even access it?
No. After March of next year, it's gone. Like, you can't
so you can't even re-download it?
So you need to have like, it's the same as what they did with the Wii going offline. You need to have the storage in place to get all your content downloaded. And that's crazy to me. Like, I don't know, because there's not like a really great way to do that with the Wii U. I mean, I guess it's not that hard to put an external hard drive, but yeah, you cannot re-download as far as I'm concerned. As far as I know, maybe I'm wrong, but after May or March of next year. So
wow. Yeah, I had no idea that was even the case with the Wii then, the original Wii.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like all gone. I don't think you can read it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off base, but I was pretty sure that was like offline done.
Huh.
And there's stuff on there that like they should be porting. Like, I think back to the Wii, and it's like, you know, Excite Bike World Rally was like amazing. And nobody's played that because it didn't exist anywhere else. It was a great addition to like Excite Bike, and like they added a lot of good moves. There's no reason it shouldn't work on Switch. No reason it wasn't on Wii U or the 3DS, but now we get a whole new batch of those games, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was any Wii U games that I remember that was like digital only and only for Wii U. I can't think of a single one.
Yeah, well, and there's some of those games though, like where the physicals gotten expensive, right? Like, you know, Game and Wario, certain games like that. Like Devil's Third, was that the like
that.
You're not going to be able to get those games physically cheaper than you can get them on the e-store, so it's like you might as well grab them now.
It's already like $350 now.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of it's a sad thing. Like, this is the digital age we live in, but having media lost forever just because it's hard to keep a server up and to like fit it into a new ecosystem is not a great situation. Because you and I did that video on the Wii one where it's like those Final Fantasy Tactics and Towers games are gone.
Oh, they have so many Wii games that were completely original.
Yeah.
Are just gone.
Bubble Bobble editions that were like exclusive to that console. Like, it's nuts. And we're right back at it.
Yeah. it's only going to get worse when games are more live service and consumable and like.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as this podcast loves Xbox Game Pass, like we're feeding our own anxiety right here. You know? Not good.
Yep. Well, I have a story that's somewhat related to this.
Okay.
I kind of went on an adventure to try and find a game that's been delisted, and it was quite a journey. But my son is very much into graphic novels right now, so he's Captain Underpants, Dogman, all that stuff. And he picked up from the library one that I kind of remember. It was called Bone. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's like an old comic. He looks like Snoopy without ears. I don't know, but I sort of remember it. And he was really getting into it, thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, I think they made a game about that. So I looked it up. And yeah, sure enough, Telltale, like one of their first games was an adventure game based on, this character.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, that's got to be cheap. Try to find it. Not on Steam. Not anywhere. Nowhere. It was on Steam, but I don't know if they lost the license. I know Telltale kind of went out of business and got bought and sold, or yeah. So I don't know. They probably like lost that. And so then I'm like, well, I really want to play this thing now just to see it. And found a key on some shady website. I use PayPal for, so hopefully,
oh my gosh,
if it goes wrong, I get it. I'm protected that way. But sure enough, the key works. You put it right into Steam. It's like, oh, here's the game. You can download it. Everything's good. So it's really weird that Steam handles it that way. A game that doesn't theoretically exist.
Yeah.
But you can just
still access
download a key. Right.
So has your son been playing it or just you?
We just recently got it and he hasn't had a ton of time to be around, but it's really weird because he knew exactly what to do.
Really?
And where to go, because it seems like it must be a complete retelling of the first book.
That's awesome.
Which is really strange. I'm trying to think of another game that I could be like, oh, I read the book, so I know exactly what to do in this game, Like,
right.
You couldn't do that with you might know some story beats in The Witcher, but you're not going to know how to play it.
Well, and it just speaks to your kid's memory too, right? Like you read that thing,
right.
Like it's ingrained. Like that's impressive.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, this guy, he's going to find a map, so you got to go over there and talk to him and see how he gets a map. And it's like, oh, wow, sure enough, that's what happened. But
nice.
It's weird. It's weird. Like downloading games from like 2005 on a PC because it was like 300 megabytes and
instantly downloaded. So how does that work? You suppose with those keys, like somebody had the foresight to like buy a bunch of them while it was still listed, but not cash them in? Because that's the only solution, right? Like you wouldn't be able to infinitely generate keys.
Right.
You wouldn't think.
It's got to be somewhere. I mean, you hear about those like gray markets with all those keys, and like a lot of the developers would rather you like just pirate the game than use them sometimes because they don't know where the keys are coming from. And
yeah, I'm trying to remember like what shady site I bought like my key code off of for 7 Days to Die. Like there was like some weird sale on here for like $6. Like it was some weird backwoods, like somebody sent me a link and I bought it and like it worked, but like that was definitely not a legit site like at all. So yeah, there's got to be a lot of that. It's just crazy that Steam doesn't have something to like block that.
Yeah. Well, especially like, yeah, you would think that it would just be like, we're not going to redeem new keys.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. If it hadn't been a generated number by this date, like no good.
Right.
Huh.
But it's still there. So I guess if you delist stuff from Steam, there's still ways to get it.
Well, speaking of getting stuff, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but my wife a month ago, I came home and she's like, "What's a Quest?" Like it's a headset. VR. Why? She's like, well, I just won a Quest 2 from work. I'm like, what? I love you so much. Thank you. I immediately claimed it as my own prize. It arrived last week. So the Quest 2 VR headset, I thought they had like severed Facebook integration. It doesn't seem like that's the case just yet. In fact, I was reading
What's Facebook?
Yeah, exactly. It's going over to Meta. So they're switching over to Meta. So you still have to sign in with the Facebook account, which I wasn't in love with. But let me just say, like, for a $299 machine that has room scaling, essentially, no wires, I really thought the PlayStation VR was a good value and a good machine for the price. The PlayStation VR is a hunk of dog shit compared to what the Galaxy Quest 2 does. If you've been playing only PlayStation VR, even with the dildo controllers, like, you're not living. Like, it's a joke. Doesn't work. It looks like poop on your screen. You can't accurately control games. The Quest 2 is kind of amazing for the amount of money you pay for it. Controllers are hyper accurate. The see-through, like, you can see through it's got the cameras so you can like see room scale. Like, I can see the room I'm in. I can map out like where I want the play field to be. The game, the console knows. It's all very lightweight also. And yeah, we've kind of like fallen back in love with VR. I will say, to PlayStation's credit, it's not a bad VR system. There are a lot of exclusive games on that. And I will say that the most popular games, which frequently go on sale on PlayStation, are full price and appear never to go on sale, at least that I've seen in Oculus. Like Beat Saber is $30. That game's been out forever. Super Hot VR is $30. You're not saving your, like, there's no deals. But you almost don't care because it plays so much better. Like, there's this ping pong game that I've been playing that is like super accurate, like crazy accurate. And then as a result of that, I downloaded a bowling game, which I'm an avid bowler. Aside from like me not knowing how to throw because I don't have like 16 pounds of weight in my hand, that ball acts exactly like it does in real life. It's kind of incredible. I will say it comes with a really cheap and shitty headset, like strap. The first thing you need to go out and do is buy the professional headset strap with the extended battery. It's $109. It cups the back of your head, infinitely more comfortable, turn dial to like adjust it to your skull size. You get like 4 hours of battery life out of it. And actually, the Oculus 2 is very front heavy, like when you get it out of the package, but like this Pro headset with a battery kind of like balances the weight. So much better. So much better. Yeah, we've been having fun with it. My daughter cold cocked my son upside the skull playing Beat Saber. That was great. Yesterday I got sucker punched right in the gut, about 4 inches from a nut shot. So I was happy with the gut shot. I was walking through the living room, just took one, playing Fruit Ninja. You know, you gotta watch out. And then yeah, I was playing with Biff. We were playing Generation Zero for the second time because we can't play more than that because he's a busy guy. I want to beat that game, but he's like, hey, he doesn't text me. And I was like, hey, get a quest. And just trying to egg him on. And you got one. You're in the club, buddy. What do you think?
Yeah, this is actually something that my wife and I have been talking about quite a bit. So when we went to Kingpin's on that unofficial date thing that I...
Child intimidation date.
Yeah. Still don't feel bad about that. I still feel good about my decisions. But we walked by the Beat Saber machine, and that was something that like Amber really enjoyed. She really thought it was fun. I thought it was great. And so you just, oh yeah, we should, it just starts the conversation. Like where do we find one? And it'd be nice to get something. And so it was kind of on our list already to look for or pick up. And then Ryan, got a Quest 2. And so I went out and I was hunting for a Quest 2. I thought they were readily available everywhere. Apparently not in Fargo. I was just one store after the other. And they didn't have anything. So I was like, oh, whatever. And so I get home and my wife is out and she comes back with a Quest 2. And I was like, well, where'd you get that? And she's like, oh, yeah, I just picked it up at Target. Oh, you picked it up at Target. Well, she bought the 256 gig, which was more expensive.
So we should touch on that. Like for any prospective buyers of the Quest 2, it comes in the 128 gig, which is the free version my wife won. Biff got the 256, but almost every app and game caps out at like 1.5 gigs. So do yourself a favor, save $100, go with the 128, because trust me, you'll be able to delete games before you even get to caring about the fact that they're gone. So
anyway. Exactly. No, that's she didn't know. She didn't know the difference.
No, and who cares? More storage is good, right?
Quest 2, that's what I've been looking for, and it plays Beat Saber, and so she came home with it. That was the first time she ever bought a system by herself, and even without like us discussing, she was like, yeah, this is what I wanted, and picked it up. And I mean, she plays it quite a bit. I mean, Beat Saber only is what she's playing, but we've really enjoyed it. It is for the most part lightweight. Love that it's wireless. Love that. Very impressed with the gameplay. You know, I've been playing the ping pong as well, and it's amazing, like the English that you can get by the way that you move the paddle, and so you get the curve of the ball or whatever it is. I thought that was really impressive. I was expecting it just to be this, I don't know, like some factory show where it's just, look at, I can play ping pong, but you could
if you're used to PlayStation
legitimate
VR,
matches. Right.
Yeah, if you're used to PlayStation VR, like, you know that the accuracy is like good enough at best, but this is like so much more immersive. And like the tactile, because you've got like 2 triggers on each hand, plus you got 2 buttons and a thumbstick. Like, you have a full current gen video game controller in your hand at all times, plus motion and like spatial awareness. Yeah, it's nuts.
And I love that. So we downloaded the Plank game that you were talking about.
Oh, yes, you did do it. Okay. What was your experience?
It was one of those things that I started upstairs and I had the headset on, and it said, well, you need more like 6x6 room.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm going to go downstairs. And I never took the headset off because you just do the camera, and I just just started walking downstairs, still had the headset on. And I mean, you just remember the PlayStation VR where you're like, okay, I can't move. Where's everything at? I got these cables. Help me with this. You put
I don't want to ruin your life, but there's a virtual desktop app, so you could like totally do your actual work while never living in reality if you wanted to.
I saw that, but I wasn't sure what that even meant. So I'm scared to click on things still.
Yeah, you don't need to go down that route.
I don't need any like VR porn shooting in my face.
Well, that exists too, I'm sure, but not probably in the legit store, I'm sure.
Never know. It's masked under ping pong. But very impressed. I found myself just buying games like, oh yeah, $20, $30, no problem. And yeah, $100, like just like that on different experiences. And there's some good ones, there's some bad ones.
Right.
I would have to say that my experience, now that I've experienced PlayStation VR and the Quest, it's very different. The Quest, I don't get that like sweaty sickness feeling, which is, I don't know what that is, but I used to feel that way, like PlayStation VR, where it's slightly grainy.
I think it's the low resolution of the screen. Yeah. I was going to say, have you can I ask, have you downloaded the free VR roller coaster ride game?
Yeah, I haven't tried it out yet.
Oh God. Okay. So there's like a blinder mode in that, or there's like a wide open, like I'm not going to get motion sick. I almost threw up. I had to ask my family to get me a chair to put it underneath me. And I continued through the 7-minute ride, but I was like,
7 minutes.
Yes, I almost puked. Like I got completely dead silent. I had to take it off and like give it to one of my kids. It's like, you guys go, because Dad can't. So maybe try that one. That might get you.
Yeah. I actually like the way I'm feeling playing it, where I just, you don't have that sick feeling or that like sweaty, nauseous, like, So it's been good.
If you haven't bought that Pro head strap, do it. Like, it makes a massive difference. You can get just the head strap for $50, but it's $109 to get it with the battery pack, and it doubles your battery life. So just do that. Because like I said, I think like the fact that it cups your head, plus you have the weight in the back with the extra battery to like balance the whole headset out, makes it's like a night and day difference on top of like an already great thing.
And the adjustable stuff is frustrating with
constantly with kids' skulls, right?
Going from adults to kids to adults to kids.
You're pulling hair all the time.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah.
My son was screaming at me because I pulled his hair. I was like, well, do you want to play VR? This is the price you pay.
That sounds like the same conversation I had with my kids.
So it's kind of funny, like that Plank game that I told Biff to download. So it I think a lot of people know what it is. It's basically exactly what you think. Like, you load into a virtual city street and you turn around, there's an elevator. You walk into the elevator, there's a few options. You hit plank, takes you up to the top floor of a skyscraper. You walk out on a board. It's just a plank. It's like a foot by however many feet out. And you just walk out and you look around. You can fall off and die, right? So I downloaded this as like, it tripped me out. And then my kids had done it and my wife got on there to do it. My wife is standing on the plank, just kind of like, what? And I just kind of like went up to her and I just nudged her hip. I swear to God, just a nudge, not a shove. She went to fall in, and her instant reaction, she just like couldn't pull herself out of the moment. She, standing from the living room floor, no joke, leapt head first into the side of, like, she dove head first in the side of our couch and onto the floor, like just full like body dive off of this plank. And then started bawling. Like, she just like couldn't control her reactions. And like, I'm standing there for a minute, like, not sure if I should like feel like a horrible human being because I just like threw my wife to her death, or she thinks she did. And she got back up and was a good sport about it. But like, it was probably the most hilarious thing because like, we were all in the living room and just like, just full on committed to like, nope, just off that thing. And it was kind of incredible.
I like how you, at the end of the plank, there's donuts or whatever. Like, you can push donuts.
Spiders.
There was this thing that was like a spider cake. And I was like, oh, what's a spider cake? No idea. Didn't put two and two together that it's a spider in a cake.
Yep.
And I reached down to grab a piece of cake and the spider shot out. I was like, oh, crap. And I jumped right off the plank.
I've had to yell at both my kids because they get to the spiders and like rip the headset off. I'm like, no, you're going to break the headset. Like, let's not do the spiders. And
I think one other feature, not to beat this thing to death, but one feature that I really appreciate is the ability to cast it on your phone as well as a TV.
How do you get it on a TV? I have Roku TVs.
You should be like any smart TV. You should be able to cast to.
Do you need to have the device or like an app installed or?
Nope. Or the Oculus app. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't think is on Roku. So I don't think I can do it.
Oh no, not on the TV, but just on your phone.
Yeah.
And then
on my phone, right.
And then when you click on cast, it says device, and then it.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't know that you could select multiple devices, but it's searched all the TVs in my house and said, which one do you want? And
that's kind of how we play it. Nice. Like, I cast it to my phone, and then like you can, kind of customize the experience, like load the apps in for the kids, and it's very intuitive.
Okay, well, you guys are really selling it.
Yeah, just go buy one. Like, you're the VR guy. You got us. You should just go do it.
Well, the improved accuracy is the thing that's really selling me because, I mean, we've got hundreds of hours into Beat Saber now.
Oh, it's so much. It's infinitely better. Infinitely better.
We're like cracking Expert Plus songs where you like almost have to nail everything just to, pass the song.
Yeah.
And you'll be halfway through, like a minute or two through the song, and then your like wand flies away because of whatever VR that PlayStation does. And that's extremely frustrating.
Yeah. You should get it. You'd love it.
Or if you're in town, you can try mine out first, see if you like it.
I'm closer to him, so you can try mine out.
And to mine.
Can I ask you guys a real question? Like, what is the key to better scores in Beat Saber? Is it the amount of distance the cube is from you and you cut it? Is it your accuracy to the center of it? Is it both? Like, what is the key to high scores? Because I don't really understand.
I've been trying to figure that out myself, because I can get quite a few more notes than my wife, but she'll always get like 50,000 more points.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've already reached in the Quest the same point I reached in PlayStation, to where like I'm just not meeting the minimum score to pass. And like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong because I'm not missing blocks. So there's something I'm missing, but I don't know what it is.
Oh, see, I don't even think I've ever played the just like single player.
Okay.
In there, so I don't know what they
just do, like one off. Like, I'm attacking this song, and
yeah, we go in the party mode, I think it's called, and it's just basically leaderboards. You know, you.
Oh, sure, gotcha. Maybe that's what I should do.
Which is pretty much all my wife's name now, because she's beat all my scores, and the whole leaderboard is just her name.
Nice. Yeah. No, you should buy it. You'd love it.
I wish I could port the DLC over. That would be really nice, but I doubt that's a thing.
So much DLC too. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Plus, like, I've heard good things about Supernatural, but is that a subscription?
What is
that's like an exercise. That's like an exercise thing.
Okay.
Oculus,
maybe.
Right?
I don't know. I haven't looked into too many exercise things yet.
Okay.
Been looking at like some hand job chat rooms.
Oh boy.
So the metaverse is what you're talking about.
The Dickiverse. Yeah. It's pretty much the metaverse. I was watching a video where a guy was like, I don't know, like some 20 something on YouTube, and he was like, I'm going to live 100 days in the metaverse, which like, I guess is 30 minutes is a day in the metaverse. He just like keeps his Quest 2 on and like has it hard tethered to his PC, and kind of went nuts after a while because he was like trying to eat like burritos and stuff with the headset on, and it wasn't quite working. And
oh, wow.
I might have seen that as well.
With the Stormtrooper buddy of his?
I think so.
Yeah. He had a buddy he met this weird guy right away. He's like, walks in the room, is like, is anybody here normal? And the guy in the Stormtrooper suit comes up, he's like, I'm normal. They became best friends. Like this dude's power would drop on his Quest 2. So he'd be in game with him in the metaverse, and his just like body would like fall over on the floor. Like, oh, my friend Kyle's dead again.
I've been addicted to these videos of whatever the Facebook, was it Horizon? Is that what it's called? Whatever their like VR chat metaverse thing is.
Okay.
They have like real people in there as guides, like they work for Facebook or something. And they're just, there to help you. And basically what they're doing, they have to just like be daycare to all these kids, tell them to stop doing things, and like seems like a nightmare of a job. But
oh, God, yeah, I can't imagine.
To check that out.
Yeah, I watched the same guy too after I watched the Metaverse one. He did one where he's like, I love games like GTA. He's like, I'm gonna live in third person for 50 hours. And he like had somebody like build an aluminum contraption. So he had like a camera hooked up to like a VR headset, and he went around. He only made it like 30 hours, but he like went around like buying food and stuff in like third person. He's like trying to brush his teeth, and he's holding his toothbrush up behind his head with like his tube of toothpaste so he could see where he was putting it, and pretty entertaining. His commitment was good. He played street basketball and like took a ball right to the face. Good stuff. He's like walking up to people in the street, like, how far away am I from you right now? Like, I don't know, like 6 feet. He's like, oh, I thought we were like right up on each other. Okay, good.
Oh,
good.
wow.
Weird.
Huh.
Yeah. Speaking of right up on stuff, Andy's up on some Pokemon.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
you
put it on the agenda. I lead it in. You're like, it's a wet fart. Yeah, it's a soft lob.
It's cool. So yeah, I've been playing the.
So
why is it on the agenda? Why is you don't even like
cool.
it?
I do like it. I think. Pokemon Arceus Legends.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
Sounds right.
It's kind of the game that everybody wanted maybe 20 years ago.
Sure.
On a GameCube. And it looks like it was made for a GameCube. The graphics in this thing are insane.
In a bad way?
It just every time Pokemon comes out, it boggles my mind that it's this like $1 trillion franchise, and they just have like 20 people working on these games, and they're just like, nope, we're not going to hire anybody. We don't need anybody's expertise on 3D games. We're just going to figure it out. We're going to do it ourselves because we're the Pokemon people. And it's like, you guys are way past that. You can't just be some, small shop doing this shit anymore. But here we are. Yeah, the textures are just awful. The lighting is awful. It looks like something that you built on your first day in Unity, but the game is fun. It is
still Pokemon.
It is Pokemon, but very, very fast and like live action. So you're running around, you throw a ball out, you might do 2 attacks and the battle's over.
Yeah, I've kind of heard it's like the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon, although less interesting in the open world. There's
I wouldn't say there's
space.
I wouldn't say it's like interesting in Breath of the Wild is like, ooh, I want to see what's over there. I want to see what's over there.
Right.
But this is, they refined the Pokemon format in a way that I think fits really well into something that is like not exactly turn-based. It's still kind of turn-based, but I don't know. It's an impressive direction if that's where they're turning everything, but I doubt that's the case. Like, they're going to have to stick to their main format, and this is like a side thing maybe. I don't know.
So I've been curious because like my kid obviously loves Breath of the Wild. He's interested in Pokemon, but like nothing's been super accessible with like all the tutorials and like the upfront reading. Like, is this more or less accessible to like grade schoolers, or what do you think?
Oh, the first hour of the game is a tutorial basically explaining like, here's what a Pokemon is. And it's like, I know what a fucking Pokemon is. It is. And then there's some bullshit story. It's literally this guy like fell out of the sky, and everybody's like, oh, you fell out of the sky. You're here to help us. Thanks. Come and do this. It's probably on the scale of really bad Pokemon stories. This seems like a pretty bad one.
So not great introduction. What you're saying?
No.
Yeah.
No. But the core mechanic, I mean, just the fact that you can like go in the tall grass, hide. It's
sure.
kind of like there's a little bit of Monster Hunter in there, I would say.
Okay. Well, and there's like raged up Pokemon out in the wild too, right? Like you can do like raged encounters. Like they have like red eyes or some shit I saw.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting.
The main bosses, I've only beat one main boss, and it's kind of a unique, encounter. But usually, in Pokemon games, you catch one of one thing, and you have it, you're done, whatever.
Right.
This one is like, hey, you catch 10 of the same one, catch them while they're sleeping, catch them in the dark. So you got to fill out the Pokedex in like a lot of different ways, which makes it a little bit more interesting. But I don't know how much I'm going to stick to it. I'm still down home on the farm.
Sure.
With the wife.
I
think we're
gotta pull those baits.
Oh, I think we're about to hit the 70-hour mark, which is crazy.
Ew.
For how little, it's only been maybe 3 weeks. It's been nuts.
Oh, you must be seriously snowed in.
Yeah. Yeah, we finally got we had a big skid loader out here with a big blower on it. So, hey, we can get out pretty well now.
Sounds expensive.
Get out or get off. Right.
I know I can't shoot as far as that snowblower was shooting.
It happens.
That's amazing. Those like commercial size, I don't know, industrial snowblowers. they're shooting like 100 yards, just like no problem. It's impressive.
70 hours. So I was playing the podcast, our last podcast, on a road trip with my family the other weekend, which I hadn't done. Like, my wife has not heard one of our recordings in forever.
She thought it was amazing, right?
No, she didn't. It got to the part where Andy and Amanda were talking, they're playing a game together, and I made the comment like, oh yeah, that's nice that you guys can do that, because my wife would never do that. And then like it turned into, I'm a giant asshole. I'm like, maybe if you didn't throw me in lava, we'd play games. And I'm like, oh God, like, yeah, I'm sorry I played this podcast for you. Like, it's just commentary on a podcast. Like, I'm not actually taking a dig at you. Like, don't be upset. And my luck, I'll be playing this one at some point in the future in the car with her, and I'll get in trouble even like more. But yeah, when podcasting goes wrong, it wasn't good. I did throw her in the lava though. It was worth it. Just for anyone listening.
No regrets.
No, it was so funny.
Was this Mario?
Yeah, it was new Mario Brothers Wii. We were riding like bone. It was a lava level. We were riding like that bone platform. We were just standing there waiting to get to the next thing, and I like picked her up and I walked us slowly to the edge, hucked her right into the lava. She's like, "You're an asshole," and like went upstairs and like wouldn't play with me after that, which is understandable. But also, I was laughing to tears, so I'd argue it's worth it.
She just doesn't have the determination, because I did the same thing, and when the little bubble would come back, I'd pop the bubble and chuck her right back in.
Yeah, we didn't get that far. One chuck and she was done, which I thought was funny. Apparently not. I was gonna say, is anyone? I don't know if anybody else has watched. Have you guys anybody else got HBO Max here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has anybody else watched Peacemaker, or just me?
I haven't caught up on it.
Okay. Have you watched any of it?
I've seen the movie, but I haven't seen the new show.
There's a movie?
Yeah, he's in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. But it's not like a standalone thing. Yeah.
No, he's just a character in there.
Sure. So I haven't watched any of that, but like I was watching Peacemaker. It's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 episodes or whatever with John Cena. And that's like my kind of like comic and like Marvel DC sort of stuff, because like I just don't care about most of it. And like John Cena can only play one character. Like when he acts, he's like John Cena acting. Like it doesn't matter what it is. So they kind of like, that character's perfect for him. He's like a big, dumb, stupid idiot, right? That's like a pretty freaking hilarious series, I gotta say. Like it's definitely worth a watch. What we didn't realize though was, which we should have probably, it's an HBO series. I didn't look at the rating ahead of it. I wasn't that worried. So we're watching this, my wife and I. My son's in the room.
Oh boy!
I think he was playing on his phone. We got about 40 minutes into the second episode, and then I was reminded very abruptly, with no lead in, as to why it was on HBO. And yeah, it was full on fuxing, like tits, all naked, hanging out in the bathroom with no warning, with my 8-year-old in the room, and we had to quickly pause that, usher him out of the room, turn it off, and pretend like it didn't happen. So
pause it just in like the perfect spot, and he's staring at it like.
The best
now
part
we
is
got a really close look.
The coup de grace of this whole thing is my mom had called during the middle of this too, and I was on the phone with my mother while the sex scene came on with my son in the room. So it was like Inception for like porn. It was not good.
It's like.
And the best part is like I think there's 8 episodes in that first season. That is the only like 3-minute to 2-minute section. Probably not even, it's maybe like a minute that has that in it. And like, of course, my son's in the room. Not great. But good series though. Pretty funny. It's pretty stupid, but it's funny. I highly recommend.
When you're done with that one, you should check out Doom Patrol.
Okay.
also kind of a DC thing, but it's really not a comic book thing nearly at all. It's really fucked up too.
It's really
funny.
Dumb. Okay. I'll have to check it out. It was better than I expected. So, I'll maybe give some more of those a chance because I've kind of I haven't watched Suicide Squad. I haven't watched a lot of that. Just don't watch it around children.
Yeah. They also put out an animated one of Injustice, which usually those Batman animated things are just ooh, whoop-de-doo.
Mm-hmm.
But this was just this one's a hard R-rated as well. Where Lois Lane gets murdered, and then Superman is just you know what? I'm just going to take care of I'm just going to, rule the world now. So he basically kills off almost every superhero in pretty gory fashion.
Nice.
Which is something you don't see too often.
Nice. Yeah. That sounds interesting. One of those ones the animated ones from DC that I do like is that, did you ever watch Batman Year Zero? 10 years ago, maybe it came out.
I think so, yeah.
Where Batman essentially dies or something, and it becomes a detective thing, and that one's really good. I wonder if that was bundled in with. I think it was bundled in within the Arkham games, the Game of the Year edition. It was a download right to the console. And I've watched that one a few times, and I was like, man, this is way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, they're pretty much the only ones still, putting a lot of time in the animated stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good. I think the best part of that whole Peacemaker thing is just he's got a side story for every superhero. It's Aquaman, yeah, dude fucks fish. No, that's not true. No, I heard that also. That's totally true. Just every superhero they ever bring up. Good stuff. Like it. Yeah, Max, watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Now with.
Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't gotten to it, because finding the time without the kids around.
Yeah. Well, as long as I'd say you could watch pretty much all of it. Maybe not the last episode and not the second episode, but everything else is totally fine. It was so jarring because the first episode was so innocent and guy's in the hospital. He gets out of the hospital. He finds his pet eagle. The eagle hugs him. It's a sweet moment. And then, yeah. I also like that his pet eagle is named Eagly. Hilarious and uninvented.
So, are any of us falling into the hype wagon that is Elden Ring?
Nope.
No?
Off of it.
Don't even know what it is.
Glowing reviews. I'm happy for the people who love that. I'm never touching that shit.
Is Robin Williams in it?
It's a more not slap you across the face Dark Souls from what I've heard. Also very difficult, but not as bad, right? This is their get you into the gateway drug sort of game.
Right. And that's the only reason why I'm kind of listening in on it, because of that reason. If it was just it's the best Dark Souls, I'd be no, thank you. But
yeah, been killing it. All the reviews are great, all of them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that so Horizon, the first Horizon came out.
That came out. The second one, did that come out? Because I don't think anybody talked about it.
Right.
That happened.
Yeah, it did. And that's the funny part, because the first one came out a week before Breath of the Wild came out.
Sure.
And now that the second one comes out right before this game, which seems to be
yeah. It launched on a console that everyone no longer wants, but they can't graduate into the console that they really want to play it on. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so not to deviate from Elden Ring, which was your point. I think that's going to be a great game for the people who want that. But I have been, in retrospect, I've been very lukewarm on Horizon, and I've listened to quite a few people talk about the new game, And like they just kind of expand on like how I felt about the end of that experience, where it was like, okay, like it could be a thing that should pull me in more, and there's a lot of depth, but I can choose the 2 attack moves that I like and go through the entire game with this. And that's all I'm doing. And you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if they've really done enough in the New Horizon game to like justify me in the way I played the first one jumping into it, you know? And I think that's why it is kind of amazing that should have been the killer game that everybody talked about for the next 2 months. And it came out last week, and I feel like everybody's forgotten about it.
Especially now, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of weird that, you know, they would put so much effort into it and then launch it right now around other things, because that type of game seems like it's you need to make millions upon millions
to justify. Yeah. And like it's on PS4, and everything I've read says like it's a marvel on PS4. Like it absolutely breathtaking, pushes it to as far as it can go, runs great. But I don't know, like I kind of forgot it came out after I told Biff to go buy the Quest. He's like, oh yeah, Horizon came out. I was like, yeah, I totally forgot too. Haha. You know, and like that was it, right? Like
yeah, definitely didn't pick it game.
Up. No. Well, it's like who has the time right now too?
Well, and you know that by the time I get a PS5, that's about the time that it's going to be a $20 game.
Well, it'll be included in PlayStation Plus. You know, at that point, like,
right.
Who cares? Yeah, that's my thought too. Is like I don't need to dive into it. I still can't get the hardware, and I'm not going to play it the way that the developers intended. Right? Like I'm just going to mainline it, not going to explore. So I'll get my story later. But yeah, I mean, I think Elden Ring is going to be pretty massive. Like those games draw in a fan base. They've already got one, but if they can draw in a more casual one, it can be huge.
Yeah, it certainly seems like a touchstone game already at this point. But
you guys been hearing anything about Lost Ark?
I've heard it's like really popular. I don't know anything about that game though.
So I didn't either. And like I had a buddy who started texting me and was like, hey, you should download this game. I think you'd like it. We should play it. I was like, all right, I'll look into it, whatever. So apparently it's been out overseas in Asian markets for quite some time. Or they've had a hard time meeting like server demand. Like it's so popular. It's out in Europe now, and it finally came to the US and it's on Steam. And it's this like free online MMO. Essentially, it plays more like a MOBA, but the play style and the perspective is very Diablo 3. So it's this online free Diablo 3 style game with like many classes. Looks great. So I in fact, before we booted up, I started installing it. Like it's a 70 gig download, which is crazy for a free game. But yeah, it looks really good. So I mean, I don't have anything more to add than that, but for Diablo 3 people out there who want something more that is free, this seems to be it. So
it's very like gear focused. New stuff.
And the attacks are all like hotkeys, and like it sounds like there's a lot of customization too. Like you don't have to like tier up or unlock a lot of your special moves. You can kind of like figure out which moves you like, and they're just kind of like all in the talent tree. So you can just build out your character however you want and switch it up on the fly depending on the zone you're in. So we'll see. I'll probably have more to report by the next podcast, but looks like something I'd be interested in. And free is good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Is it would have been a short one, but is it that time?
And that's what my wife says.
Unless you want to go like in depth with Stardew Valley, I could tell you just everything about, the island, everything I'm doing, what my plans are for everything.
I got 3 hours. I got 3 hours. Yeah. Let's go.
Or Biff could just, do the spiel.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
Friends.
Actually, hold on. Before we do that, let's you made it this far, our friends over at R3 Podcast, Ramble, Record, Repeat, Chris and Fraser, they were gracious enough to invite us to guest on their most recent episode. I assume it will be up by the time that this posts. So go check out Ramble, Record, Repeat podcast. We are on there talking Canadian trivia, and
we did find out who's most Canadian out of our podcast. So
it's true.
That's
if you want the answer to that, you'll have to listen to their episode. Mm-hmm. We also talk some movies, and as always, dive into weird rabbit holes, because that's
lots of rabbit holes
we do. But yeah, go check them out. Thanks to those guys. Very much appreciate being on their show. Great podcast. But yeah, Biff, do your thing, man.
Well, okay, you got it. Well, friends, thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Any mail, any fan mail, any complaints?
I didn't check. That's a good.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't even look.
Well, while Ryan is checking, make sure you're following us on all of our social media on Twitter and Facebook and all of those good things. Go to Geekade. You can check out some of our other podcasts and other friends. And you can find all things Weekend Rental at weekendpodcast.com, and any fan mail, any complaints. Ryan, anything?
No, just some spam.
Oh, dang it. Well, friends, that's it. That's all we got for you. As always, be kind. Rewind.
You're deep, bro.
Play Bone out of Boneville on your quest. That would be quite the adventure.
Probably a game for that.
Yar bananas.